All right, in step 6, modify the Spring Boot app. The REST repository needs a new method. So currently the Spring Boot app returns the products regardless of category. We need to modify this to only return products for a given category ID. Spring Data REST and Spring Data JPA supports query methods. So behind the scenes, Spring will construct a query based on method naming conventions. Ooh, magic. So methods starting with find by, read by, query by, and so on, those are called query methods. In this example here in my repository, I'm going to add this new method, find by category ID. So since this method starts with find by, it's known as a query method. And so Spring will do some special processing on this given method. All right, so let's kind of break this down a bit. So here's our query method. So find by, it says, hey, that's a query method. And then we have by category ID. So it's going to match by category ID. And then we pass in this request param ID. So we tell it, hey, use this parameter value to match on. So behind the scenes, Spring will actually look at that method name. It'll parse that method name, and Spring will execute a query similar to this. So it'll say select star from product, because we have this product repository, where category ID equals whatever values being passed in. So again, this is magic here. Spring is actually creating and executing a query based on your method name. Scary, fun, exciting, magic. All right, so a bit more in these query methods. So you can actually provide your own custom query using the @query annotation, because you say, hey, you know what? I don't like the magic of the method name, or I have a very complex, advanced query for my business that I can't write it out as a given method. Don't worry. You can use @query and you can give your own query for that. The query methods also have support for conditionals like and, or, like, sort, and so on. For details on this topic, you can see the query method section in the Spring Data Reference Manual. And here's the link here on the slide, and you can go to this link. It'll redirect you to the official documentation, and you can read all the details on this given topic. All right, now a bit more on this method as far as some other items that I didn't discuss yet. Page and pageable. So these items provide support for pagination. So in this given method definition here, note here on the left-hand side, it has page, product. So page is a sublist of a list of objects. So think, you have 1,000 objects out there, then you only want the first 10 or first 20. That's a page. So it's a list. It's just a small list. This page has information such as total elements, total pages, current position, and so on. And then also we have this pageable. So pageable represents pagination information. So it has information such as which page number to go to, the page size, the previous reference, the next reference, and so on. And these objects are created automatically for you behind the scenes by the Spring framework. All right, so now that we have the method defined, Spring Data REST will automatically expose REST endpoints for the query methods. So any query method that you have that starts with find by, read by, query by, then they'll be available under your /search/ whatever the query method name is. So in our example, our find by category ID, then this will be under localhost 8080/API/products/search/find by category ID. So it matches on the actual method name. And now with this new item here that we have, the question is, well, how do we pass data to this given REST API? Well, we simply use the question mark, ID equals, and then we plug in the value. So that's the ID of 1. So that's the category ID of 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. So that's how you pass the given data to this given Spring Data REST API. All right, so in our final step here, step 7, almost done, we need to update the Angular service to call the new URL on our Spring Boot application. So here's our product service.ts. We have our base URL. We have this method getProductList. We're going to add this new parameter here, the category ID. That's a number. And then we simply set up the reference here. So base URL /search /find by category ID. And then we simply associate or append the category ID that was passed into this given method. So it'll give us ID of 1, 2, 3, or 4 based on the parameter that we pass to this given Angular method in our product service. Alrighty, so just a recap on our development process. So we have 7 steps for setting up this functionality. In the next set of videos, we'll actually move into our IDE and we'll start writing the code. So I'll see ya in the next video.